Just some quick disclaimers. I'll try to keep them short and simple. First off, if you hear any weird rumbling around, like, I don't know, something like that, please note, I'm recording this in my closet on my iPad with nothing but my voice. I don't have a proper microphone or anything like that. That's all I'm recording this with. And second off, if I go into long rambles or continue, repeat myself or just say I don't know a lot, please note I'm just not the best at explaining myself at times, and a good chunk of this is unscripted and entirely from my mind, and I might be an autism thing. I have no idea. So, without further ado, please enjoy the video and try not to mind these things. Okay, so you know Finn and Shelly, right? You know, Finn, the best character, and Shelly, in my opinion, the coolest main. Yeah, so you know how their passives, you know how their passives are incredibly similar, with Finn getting a 33% speed boost when a machine is finished, and Shelly getting, I believe, a 25% speed boost? I think them both having very similar passives is actually kind of a reflection on both of their characters, and how both their characters are very similar, aside from the, not autism, obviously not autism, totally not autism, in the special interest way, which I will talk about later, but for now, I'm focusing on the small, really mini theory / headcanon kind of thing I have right now. You may be asking, what do you mean? What do you mean they're, of course their passives are similar, but how are the characters similar besides them both just having their own special interest? So look at Shelly's character moment, besides the best part of her being, cheerful and silly, and we all love Shelly, besides that one person I saw on TikTok who doesn't like Shelly, her whole thing is being ignored. That's it. It's being ignored. People forget that she's there in conversations. She's just ignored. And then if you were to, maybe even glance at specific Finn interactions, you might be able to see that he's not really ignored, but more of disliked, dismissed, in a way. This does make them similar in a way, with Finn often being dismissed, in him and Connie's interactions, Connie's like, no, that's boring, and Tisha being like, I do not want to play into your fish ponds, and Pebble just staring at him after he says a pun. Shelly is also occasionally dismissed in conversations. She's not dismissed as many times as Finn, but she's ignored, obviously. So for example, in an situation where she is dismissed is in her and Flutter's interaction, where Flutter's asking about the Brachiosaurus skeleton, which is a replica, and when Flutter learns that it's a replica, she's disappointed. So, technically, in a way, she's dismissing it. She's like, oh, man, that sucks. Something, I don't know. Yeah, well, I do know, but whatever. In the Finn interactions where I believe he is dismissed or ignored, I found Astro, Connie, Cosmo, Glisten, Pebble, specifically Dazzle, Sprout, and Tisha. In my opinion, these are instances of Finn possibly being dismissed or ignored or just overall disliked for his for his puns and his jokes and his facts. The main instances I could find for Shelly being dismissed or ignored were with Flutter, as stated earlier, Glisten, with him forgetting her name, Louie, Poppy, and V. And here I will show the examples I could find of these specific instances, and some others that might be considered stretches. First off, I will start off with interactions that are just straight up ignoring, dismissing, whatever the like. I will just start off with those ones, the ones that I feel are relatively obvious, at least somewhat. In Finn and Astro's conversation, Astro's asking, do you dream of anything other than fish? And when Finn states, why would I want to not dream of fish? Astro is like, okay, that's not, and he just kind of, he's like, oh man, yeah, you see what I mean, hopefully. First off, the interaction that makes you want to strangle Connie, why would you say that? Here, in this interaction, of course, Connie is often like this with other characters, but I will still be using this one as an example, where here Connie is like, no, your cuttlefish facts, whatever, blah, 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 they're boring. She's just straight up telling it to the face, you're boring! She's being sarcastic, and giving him the false illusion, like, oh, wow, that's so interesting. Wow, I never knew that. But is then dismissing it as, like, no. Before I continue this one, please note, I do believe that Glisten does have a fair point. Finn wasn't stopping his puns. But to be fair, he's just not beating the autism allegations. But I'm not going to... Yeah. But as we can see here, Glisten is clearly like, man, get me out. I don't want to be around him. Just straight up, pretty much just basically saying, I don't want to be around him. I don't want to be around Finn. And clearly being like, stop it. Stop this madness. This one's also somewhat obvious, but it's not as, like, rude on purpose. More of informative, I'd say. Where Sprout just straight up looks at Finn and is like, he's not real. And, because Barnaby and Finn are very close. Obviously, considering he literally says he is so much more to me. And Sprout is like, he does say that he means this nicely, but he's being brutally honest. Tisha, I swear. Tisha, I will strangle you. Tisha, I hate you. Tisha, why would you say that? Why would you say that about him? Why? So here, Tisha is quite literally saying, I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it, Finn. No. And yeah, she's... her. This one I am adding, but I will say I do see V's point of view from here, considering she is, electronic and she is afraid of electronics and such. So she's completely in the right. She is just being... She's in the right here. That's fine. Then this one I'm just adding because she is... I don't know. Yes. Yay! What is with Glisten and Connie and hating autistic people? /joking. I'm joking. Glisten forgot her name. So that is clear, ignorance. Yeah. Do I even have to say anything for this one? Do I? Do I have to say anything for this one either? Huh? Do I have to say anything here? Do I? Really? Okay, for the Sprout interactions, I'm going to have to elaborate for a bit, because here, Sprout is being just brutally honest. He's like, yeah, you've told us a couple times, actually. And then, of course, being the homosexual he is, he immediately brings Cosmo into the conversation. Yeah, but just here, he just kind of dismisses it. He's like, yeah, you've told us a couple times already. You get my point. This one's also kind of degrading or dismissing or just being kind of rude to Shelly. Here, he's like, you sew? And he's confused. This is also mentioned in another interaction with Bobette, where Bobette's like, I thought your whole thing was dinosaurs. So, yeah, and then again brings Cosmo into the God. And then, of course, the V and Shelly interactions, which makes the Shellivision shippers cry, probably. I don't know. I'm not a professional Shellivision shipper, but yeah. So those ones I would consider are the more obvious ones that where it's more likely that, they are being dismissed, blah, 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 whatever, you know what I mean. Now, next up is onto ones that I believe are more of stretches, in a way. I'm just going to kill two birds with one stone here. Immediately, in both these interactions, Brightney... I don't know much about Brightney's character, for the record. I don't know much about Brightney's character, but she immediately assumed that they might be insulting her in some way. That's just the immediate assumption. I don't know Brightney's character. This might be a common thing. I don't know. But in both interactions, kind of like a parallel. I don't know. In this interaction, Cosmo's, doing his whole thing. He's confused of what Finn means. He doesn't understand his jokes. So... And then when Finn tries to explain the jokes, he just stares at him. And he's probably like, what? Something like that. Yeah. And then Finn laughing to himself. Cosmo not laughing with him. I don't know. Again, another push. Yeah. This one, again, is kind of a stretch. But after, Finn beats literally Goob at both puns, Goob just kind of stares at him. He might be like a little bit disappointed, upset, or anything like that he couldn't beat Finn at, quote-unquote, his own game. You can't beat Finn when it comes to fish puns, okay? Goob could maybe even be a bit upset that he didn't manage to beat the puns. Yeah, I don't know. This entire thing is unscripted. I don't know. In this one, you know, it's already stated before, Pebble has a staring problem. But here, Pebble just stares at him. Finn comments how he's giving him the cold shoulder. Oh, I love you, Finn. So possibly Pebble is like, just mentally as a dog, he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Or something, I don't know. Well, I do know, I'm making this entire video, so I should know. When I say I don't know, I'm not good at explaining things. Yay! This one I mentioned earlier with, you know, Razzle and Finn most likely being friends. Well, most definitely being friends, considering Finn literally says, my best buddy! But here we can see that Dazzle's like, maybe don't, because there's a chance Dazzle does not want to hear more and more jokes every single day. Razzle's already enough. He's clearly relieved that he doesn't have to hear any more of the puns and the jokes. And he's just like, oh, thank goodness, oh, I don't want to hear any of these things. Yeah, yay! Or, well, not yay, because Finn, my beloved. This one's here, also just a smaller thing. You know, Scraps, she's denying the cat allegations. And poor Barnaby Willikers. Yeah, she's just like, man, I'm gonna eat your fish. So, yeah, that one's pretty simple to explain. This is the interaction I mentioned earlier, but I will go more in depth on it. Here, as I mentioned earlier again, Bobette is, she's like, oh, you sew? I thought your thing was dinosaurs. And yeah, and also I feel like in the start of the interaction, Bobette isn't directly talking to Shelly, more of herself, which is unfortunately, I feel like how a lot of Shelly interactions go. Near the end of the interaction, I feel like it'd be one of two things. One is Bobette dismissing Shelly, wanting to end the conversation early, or two, it's because she realizes that she doesn't have any hobbies. Haha, loser. This one I would have mentioned earlier, but I didn't fully know how to elaborate on it. But here, of course, Connie hating autism / joking. Here, Connie is like, oh, what am I, Shelly, huh? What am I, Shelly? Are you gonna say I'm dead, Shelly, huh? Or something like that. So yeah, she's clearly annoyed with Shelly being there, and about Shelly is like, oh yeah, you're extinct, dinosaurs are extinct, and you're also, oh wait, oh man. This one, again, I did mention earlier, but Flutter is disappointed at the fact that the dinosaur replica in Shelly's museum is, unfortunately, just a replica and not a real dinosaur, and she's like, God, fuck it! Ah! If, before anyone says, why didn't you include Shrimpo? Shrimpo's like that to everyone, you know that, right? Like, you can remember that, so there's not really a point to add him if he is just like that to everyone, so it wouldn't really mean that much. But everyone else there I mentioned, I feel like are decent examples, at least, of Finn and Shelly being ignored, dismissed, disliked, and being seen as annoying from people, etc., etc., you know what I mean, hopefully. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this made sense in some way. If you have questions, you can ask me. I don't mind answering them. But yeah, this was my insane ramblings about, first of all, 2 favorite characters, and second of all, just a mini theory, speculation, whatever I had about said characters.